and today I'm here to review the new book Finlay Donovan is Killing It by Elle Cosimano, I think is how you say the last name, but we all know I'm terrible at pronouncing things. This book, I had actually not heard anything about it, but I saw it on the shelf, and as you can tell by the cover that just like draws you in instantly, I was like, I got to read this. So I got it at the store, I went home, and I was so in love with it, guys. It is the first in a series, which I'm pretty excited about because I don't really have mystery series that I read. I mainly do like standalones for them, which I like. I prefer that because I've never been really into the like when there's like a detective and like you read different mysteries throughout, because I feel like there's not a lot of, I don't know, with those I feel like sometimes there's not character development because it's just mainly about the story and not actually about like who the character is necessarily. So like nothing happens kind of love interest wise usually. I mean, I know sometimes it is the case where that does happen, but like just the ones that I've read, it doesn't particularly happen. So it's kind of unusual for me to read a mystery series, and this is only the first one, so it's not like I have like 17 to catch up on or anything like that, but I was excited about it, and it definitely feels and reads a lot differently than the mystery books that I normally read, because I feel like either you get a detective or you get someone who just like this mystery happens to them and they're kind of thrust into this world, and that's kind of what happens here, but not really. So it's very hard to explain what happens in this book without spoiling it, so I'm just going to keep it to the bare minimum of pretty much what you get from reading the like cover description. So Finlay Donovan, she is a newly divorced mom. She is a single mom now of 2 kids. Her husband is a a-hole. He cheated on her, basically left her out to dry, and is suing her for custody. He wants full custody of their kids. It's just, he's such a dingus. Like, she's just struggling to make money. She's a writer, but she's got writer's block because she writes like these romance suspense novels, and since her romance imploded, she doesn't really have any inspiration, and she's really struggling to make ends meet and to take care of her kids, because even though like her husband is like, I want the kids, like he don't take care of them. He's always like, can you take care of the kids? Can you pick them up? Like, he just wants kind of the idea and the picture of the perfect family, but doesn't want to put in the work that she has to do it. So she's really struggling. She's about to lose her kids to full custody. She can't pay any for her bills. Everything's breaking on her. And at the start of the book, she meets with her agent at a Panera, which shout out to Panera, the cafe of everyone's writing dreams. And she is discussing the book about how she has the murder idea down, but it doesn't feel right. Like, it's just not clean like it usually is. And her agent's like, well, why don't you just do something like this one? That one was a really good one. And she's like, it's too obvious. But like, they're talking about it. And if you didn't know it was a book, it kind of sounds like they're talking about an actual murder, which is the case with what happens with the lady that's sitting next to them, Patricia. Patricia, you see, is having problems with her husband. He's a douchebag, to put it quite simply. And she thinks that Finlay is talking about being a hit person. So she hires her, she slips her a note that says $50,000, kill my husband, and you'll get the money. And Finlay, of course, is horrified when she realizes what happens and is instantly trying to be like, no, like, I'm not doing this. But there is part of her that's intrigued by this idea of like, you know, what would someone offer $50,000, like what could be so bad? So she kind of gets sucked into this world, and just through a series of rather unfortunate events, things start getting worse and worse and worse. If you watch the show Good Girls on NBC, which my mom watches, and I'm usually in the room when she's watching it, it reminded me a lot of that, because it's just like this mom who's like kind of at her wit's end, doesn't know what else to do, and just unfortunately gets stuck in this series of unfortunate events that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't like Good Girls is the thing, because I feel like it's a hard premise to bring it out season after season, you know, of them like like towing the line between like they accidentally got involved in this, but how far are we going to take it and still like them? I feel like this premise, having it in a book, works a lot better because it's obviously more contained. The story's contained and it doesn't drag on, and there's not like different choices that you have to make that you're like, oh my gosh, they're getting involved now in this. Like, I feel like the choices she makes, for the most part, you can honestly still root for her and kind of see like where she tries to do the right thing, and it just kind of backfires out of us, like just things that are out of her control. And what's also cool is that you see this kind of web of like criminal mischief and stuff was already gonna be in her life necessarily. Like, it's just like the town they live in, some of the people she knows, like it's kind of a very small feel to it. So you see that it's kind of like this enmeshed web, where had she not done this, it probably still would have come to a somewhat different conclusion, but still a criminal conclusion eventually. So I really, really loved it. I think Finlay is just a amazing narrator, amazing character, and just someone you completely root for, because I think she is, you know, very much that kind of woman that you root for, that does it all, but is so spread thin that it seems like she's just failing at everything, when really it's just she has had such crap luck. Like her husband, well, not even luck, but just her husband is a terrible douchebag, cheated on her. He was the main source of income and is now using like his money to get a better lawyer than she can, and he's paying the bills for her but using it against her, saying like, you can't afford to take care of the kids, like swooping in and being a nice guy when it's convenient for him, and also even though he's the one that like kind of put her in this situation by not giving her any money, not giving her any, you know, child pay, like stuff like that, he can then look like the good guy. So it's nice to see her kind of get the win eventually. And I do think she's a very, very smart character. Like I feel like oftentimes there are situations where you see like someone's profession can kind of lend to like them being a criminal. So like she writes crime books, and I feel like it could very well be where she wasn't smart, like where she tried ideas and they didn't work out. And I feel like for the most part, her ideas very much did work out, and I was very, very impressed with that. Like she was, I think that's the mom aspect of it, you know? That's the aspect of cleaning up messes and getting out of situations and having to fix things and adapt on the fly with like not anything you're used to. I think that's kind of where her writing and then also being a mom combines perfectly to allow her to adapt to these situations that she finds herself thrust upon. She also has a very, very awesome side character who is her live-in babysitter named, I think it's Vero is how you pronounce her. Her name's Veronica, but they all call her Vero. She's amazing and awesome. I love Vero. I also think she is just someone that very much is like perfect for who Finlay needs, because she's like her support system, her cheering, and throughout the book they're constantly talking about how like she hasn't really had anyone just like in her corner who's like proud of her for a while, you know? Like she's got like her sister, but her sister's also still worried about her. Obviously her parents are still worried about her, but Vero's just kind of like, let's celebrate like the good things, like when she sells a book. Their friendship and partnership is so, so cute. There's also, and it pains me to say it, but a bit of a love triangle, and I love one of the love interests, like love him, think he's adorable, so sweet, so cute. Hate the other one. The other one is a very stereotypical, like, I think who she probably would end up with in, like, any kind of stereotypical, like, if you've seen a Hallmark mystery movie, it's, like, the hotshot cop who is, like, you know, young and cute and single and wants to help her with her book and kind of help her with the crime, and I feel like if he was written different, I probably would have liked him more, but just, like, I felt like his character was very selfish in a way. Like I felt like he would help her when it was convenient to him, and he also himself put her in a lot of danger outside of like what she had done herself with this whole hit situation. I feel like even had she not done that, like this guy still would have put her in danger, and she probably would have been less prepared for it had she not like done her own research, because then she wouldn't have known who she was dealing with. And I feel like he did that, but then like got mad at her with certain stuff when like she didn't tell him things, and I'm like, dude, like this is like you're taking a civilian along for something that's not safe at all, like you can't get mad at her. But I did love the other love interest. I think he was so cute and sweet, like I said, so I was kind of like, yeah, I wish we had seen more of him, because like the love triangle is very much like a love triangle, and I think it'll probably continue on in the rest of the books, unfortunately, or maybe she'll get other love interests, like I said, because sometimes that's the thing, is like they just get a different love interest every book, like James Bond. But I hope not. I hope it stays this first one, because I really, really love him, and I think he's really sweet and could be very like helpful, because he's a lawyer, so like his job obviously could be helpful, and I just am so excited to see the next one. I think it's so cute. Someone's definitely got to pick it up for a series, because it screams like those like Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman kind of adaptions that they do, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I think they've cornered the market on that, and cornered the market on that in a great way. Like those are the types of adaptions I'm looking for, like Little Fires, Big Little Lies, stuff like that. So I think this one could be a really, really good one. I'm so excited for the next one, especially to see like what the cover and the title will be, because I just think this cover and title sold it. I probably wouldn't have even looked like or heard of this book if I hadn't seen the cover and saw the title, because I think they're both so amazing, and they really just like sell you and grab you on what the mystery is going to be. So I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. The 0.5 star, I'm honestly going to be honest with you, is probably because of just how much I hated Nick. Like, any scene he was in, I was just like, can we move along? So other than that, it's really, really good. Like, Finlay herself, awesome. Vero, awesome. Like, the female characters in this are straight up, like, really strong and independent and awesome. And then I think the good guy characters were just so supportive of the females that's why I love them so much and just so helpful. So yeah, if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. But if you have, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down in the comments. Also, make sure this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!